Welcome to the New Author Podcast, a weekly podcast diary starring Jerry Evanoff and Rich Casey. Join them weekly as they talk about writing, publishing, and marketing their books. And now, here are your hosts.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the New Author Podcast. Today is Wednesday, March 4th, 2026. Episode number 346 of the podcast. I am one of the hosts, Jerry Evanoff, and with me, as he is each week, is Rich Casey. Rich, how are you?
Well, getting back into the swing of things, but I really need an explanation for your T-shirt.
Oh.
Yeah, what's going on with it?
I mean, I don't know how can you see just the top two rows?
Yeah, I can see 6-7 and the word 5.
So wait, you don't know what this is?
Well, I know what 6-7 is, but
no, that has nothing to do with that.
Oh,
Although
no.
I didn't realize it was red until just now. Here, I'm going to put the third row up there. Does this help at all? I'm a little disappointed right now. I got to say. Okay, third row's right here.
No, I have no idea what this is.
You don't know what 8675309 is?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's a song.
Yeah, I didn't play it through in my head like that.
You have to sing it, 8675309, and it makes more sense when you do it like that.
Yeah.
I actually didn't realize the 6-7 was red until just now.
Uh-huh.
And that makes me even happier because as an old person, I love making fun of what the younger kids like.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can get it out of style quicker. So
yeah, you get the memes from like two different eras in one T-shirt. It's pretty good.
Oh, it's the combining of the generations that we're doing here. Yeah. So, all right. So how you doing? How's it going?
It's going okay. It's going okay. I mean, it'd be going better if it wasn't raining all day, but at least it's not terribly cold. So that works out.
Yeah, we're going to get into the 70s on Saturday. I'm so excited. I want to try to find somebody to golf with even. We'll see.
Yesterday, I got my truck to go to work at noon, and it was 88.
Wow.
At least that's what my truck said.
I can only imagine what that feels like. Oh, it's wonderful.
It felt hot. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Yeah, it felt hot. Okay, there you go. So, all right. So let me jump into my stats here. But before I do that, it's the beginning of the month. I don't know how much longer I'm going to do this, but it's the beginning of the month. So if there's any new listeners, let me give a quick recap of and the reason I do this is because I did these books a little bit different than what most people do when they're writing books. So I wrote and published book 1 in a murder mystery series back in 2023 in May. Started writing book 2. And then at the end of the year, Rich and I started talking about our goals for 2024. And instead of just saying I'm going to write book 2 and publish it and write book 3 and publish it and write book 4 and publish it, I kind of didn't want to do that. I wanted to write a complete series with a through line story that goes from 1 to 9. So I spent the last couple of years writing the first drafts for books 2 through 9. I also wrote a prequel novella, a book 1.5 novella, and a book 7.5 novella. And I plotted a 4.5 novella, but I haven't written it yet. With the idea of getting the first drafts down so I can make sure the story is consistent all the way through. And then last year in, I don't know what it was, maybe October, I edited book 2. I sent it off to a developmental editor in December. She sent it back to me, and boy did we
pieces.
talk about that. I think she was going to mail it back in a body bag. And so I spent about a month going back and forth with her, just trying to understand what she's telling me I need to do, plot wise, why I need to do those things, that kind of thing. And I've now spent the last month or so rewriting is the wrong word. Basically cutting probably 5 to 10 chapters, adding maybe 5 to 10 new ones, while at the same time taking all the other existing words and changing some of them. A lot of the story stayed the same. All of my characters stayed in. She didn't force me to like change the entire plot. It's a good plot. She just helped me get the kind of the mystery part of it working correctly. So I actually have a deadline for her 1 week from Sunday. March 15th is the deadline. It's going to be close, but I think we're going to make it happen. So that is where I'm at right now. I'm going to publish book 2 probably sometime early April. And I've been working with a marketing person on what I need to do around that. And then I'm going to get right into book 1.5 and publish that and go to book 3. And I'm going to actually send an outline of book 3 to the developmental editor this time instead of sending the whole book. That'll make it a lot easier to get the plot down before I do any more writing on it. So, so that's kind of where I am over the next couple of years. I'm going to do a lot of editing and a lot of publishing. But it'll be really exciting to get 13 books out there, 4 novellas and 9 novels in a series over the next couple of years, and just see if anything happens. I mean, I obviously want to make money off of this. I spent a lot of time working on it, but I'm also really, really proud to release a whole series. I mean, that's pretty cool. So even if I don't make a dime off of it, it's still a lot of fun. And I'm still okay with it. So yeah.
It'll be something. Yeah, it'll be. You'll look back on it when you're old and gray like me, and say, I actually did that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I was excited to publish my first book, which was back in 2019. That was like a achievement in itself. and then switching genres and publishing the first murder mystery, and now trying to get a series out there is pretty cool. So, yeah.
Well, for me, one of the problems with us having this outline that we work off of each week is that, as soon as this podcast is over, I go and I delete what was in the outline for myself, and then I forget what was in the outline. So I'm not exactly sure where I was last week when we talked. I think I had said that I made it through chapter 2 on the edits of this book that I'm working on. I'm now through chapter 4, so I was able to do 2 more chapters, but I also did a little bit of extra work because I started entering the hand edits, because I'm doing all this on these edits on a physical copy, which means I'm really doing another editing pass as I start putting these hand edits in there. So it's almost like double editing chapters 1, chapter 2. Those are the 2 that I've already gotten back into the computer. And then 3 and 4, I've done the hand edit for, and this coming week I'll start putting those in and continue on. So yeah, so I'm making some progress. Probably not as fast as I want it to go, but then I also worked 6 of the last 7 days. So
it never goes as fast as I want it to go when it comes to this writing thing. So,
and I'm always more optimistic about how quick I can get through things.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, that's why I'm worried about this March 15th deadline. But we skipped here over I didn't get to my stats here, so let me get to my stats. That's all right, no problem. And so my stats for the week. So I actually have a word count that went up again because I've written some new chapters. I'm actually up 3,652 words to 8,691. The goal was 45,000 because I'm not going to do a lot of writing this year. It's going to be mostly editing, but I do want to do some writing. So we're at 8,700 words basically. The word count from Book 2 last week, it was 68,372, and I've actually added words. I'm up about 2,600 words to 70,901, and we're probably going to finish right around there. I just have a few chapters to go, and we're probably going to finish right around 71,000 is what it looks like. Words per hour jumped pretty big this week. 1,209 words per hour was the average coming into the week. I end the week at 1,275, and it's because of one really good writing session that I had a couple of days ago. Have you ever seen those sci-fi movies where they have there's a good Doctor Who where kids are in a school and they're literally just sitting at a keyboard and they're just typing. It's like they're not even thinking, they're just typing. That's how I felt as I sat and then wrote this chapter 22, I think it was.
Or that cat that does it on the cat meme.
Oh, yeah, yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I felt. So the goal, of course, was to finish revision Y. I failed. I knew I'd fail, but it's my goal until I finish it. And I'm close. So I'll probably be finishing it here pretty quick.
Okay. Well, in terms of word count, going through those first 2 chapters, since I'm hand editing on a physical draft, I don't really know if I'm adding words or subtracting words. Right. But now that I've gotten the chapter 1 and chapter 2 in, I've actually lopped off about 2,500 words just in 2 chapters. So tightening things up, making it a little bit more streamlined. I'm now down in the high 90,000s in terms of the overall word count for this thing. Got to get it down into the 70,000s probably by the time I'm done. Would be ideal. So hopefully we'll get there.
Yeah. All right. Let me go to last week's recap here, and I think you and I are going to keep talking about this maybe for the next couple weeks even. But I was in the office this day, and I was kind of zombie programming. It's one of those things where I can do my job while I'm thinking about something else because what I'm working on is not hard. And I was still thinking about this MailerLite versus Substack issue. And I think I've decided what I'm going to do. But see, what's funny is you texted me later that night and said, "Hey, I got an idea. Do you want to hear it now?" And I said, "No, save it for the podcast." Right. But now I'm thinking what I'm about to say, you're going to give me a better idea than what I'm about to say. This is what I'm going to do.
Maybe not. Let's see.
Yeah, this is what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to treat MailerLite normally as what it is. I'm going to write. I've already started doing a Perry Mason recap. I'm going to write that, stick it into an email, and then I'm just going to put it into Substack as kind of a backup system. And I'm going to put in the email something like, "Hey, if you want to see the older versions of this, just go to subscribe to my Substack. Here it is." And then I might just put little things in the Substack on top of the Perry Masons. It's almost like a bonus content type of thing. But I'm going to keep them separate, and I'm going to make people sign up for the Substack on their own. I'll put a link on my website. Maybe I'll put a link in the back matter. But for the most part, the email is what's going to matter the most. And then I'll just back up, make the Substack as almost like a backup of the Perry Mason recaps. That's kind of the plan.
Okay. I'll go ahead and talk about what occurred to me right now. I was going to do it later. But what occurred to me is that I think what I'm going to do is since the whole crux of what we were talking about last week was how can you automate this email capture and not have to do anything by hand. I'm just going to treat Substack as a lead generator, and because every time somebody signs up or subscribes to your feed on Substack, you get an email notification. You can use that email notification with Zapier to, or Zapier, however they pronounce it, to trigger an action that will then feed that email into whatever mailing list provider you're using. And I think I was kind of poking around today, and I think I will end up using MailerLite as well. So the main center of gravity for the email list will be MailerLite. The newsletter that I do will go out on MailerLite. I will using MailerLite. I will repost it on Substack just to have a community there. But yeah, just use it as a lead generator more than anything else.
I think we kind of came up with the same idea.
Yeah, basically.
Nice. Okay, there you go. So that makes me think that it's probably the best idea. And I don't know if I think last week, I said I was going to email BookFunnel. I did email BookFunnel on Thursday, and I got a response pretty quick. And it was, here, I'll just read it. Let me open it up. It's very short, and it's exactly what you said. Let me see if I can get it open really quick here. Here we go. So BookFunnel, he said, I don't know I'm pretty sure this is right. If this is wrong, please somebody tell me. But it's from Jamie at BookFunnel. I don't know if you know the story of Jamie, but Jamie's not actually a real person.
No.
Yeah, they all the help. I remember listening when I was listening to their podcast. I still listen to it, but like one of the first ones I listened to, they were talking about how they just came up with the name Jamie to sign stuff. That way they didn't have to worry about, hey, I was talking to this person, but now I'm talking to this person. Okay. So it's just James. So I saw that and just laughed because it made me think of the book. I listened. This is probably about a year ago when I was listening to their podcast from when I first found it and started listening to it. But they wrote back to me. Jamie wrote back to me, and said, thank you for reaching out. We had a look at their documentation, and it looks like Substack doesn't support integrations at all, which is exactly what you said. They don't have an API, and noted in their support forum, they do not plan to add one at this time. Without an API, no service can integrate with Substack. Unfortunately, hopefully they'll add one soon and they'll integrate the service. So, I mean, it's exactly what you said last week. Is there was no API. So
right. And what I'm talking about doing is only going to work as long as they continue to send those email notifications that somebody has signed up to your list. If they decide to stop that for any reason, then that'll fall apart. It won't be automated. But
that's the one thing I'm going to do different is I'm going to keep them separate. I'm going to let people do it on their own. If they sign up to one, I'm not going to push them onto the other. I'll put a link in there. It's mostly my email. It'll just say for previous recaps, go to the Substack. Here's the link. That kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm a ways away from doing this right now, and I may end up gravitating towards something a little bit different. The thing that gives me a little bit pause to do what I'm talking about doing is if you force everybody that signs up on Substack over to your mailing list, suddenly they're getting something from you and not from Substack. It's not Substack branded at all, so they may wonder where this is coming from in terms of any marketing efforts or whatever. So I don't know how I'm going to deal with that, but I'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
All right, so on this day, last Thursday, I did go up front at lunch and add 210 words to the end of chapter 17. This is my chapter 17 has 4 scenes in it. They're all pretty short. Overall, the chapter is, I don't know, what is it? When I started, I didn't put in here how many words it had.
3,001.
Well, that's what it started with. I don't know where it is now, but it's 4 different scenes. They're probably about 2,500 words between the 4 of them. I know one of them is like 1,100, and the other 3 are pretty short. Then this is where a lot of my new words came from. Nothing in the evening. Again, I did get the email from BookFunnel. So Friday. So Rich, I don't know if I talked about this last week, but the magic now of my job is that I don't have to take half a day if I don't want to. I can take a 3-hour PTO. I have 160 hours when the year starts. I can take 3 hours instead of 4. I can work 7 to 12 because I was working 7 to 11. Well, I'll just work 7 to 12. That's lunchtime. Right. And it's only 3 hours PTO instead of 4. So, which means if I do 3, 3, 3, that's 12 hours. Mm-hmm. If I do 4, 4, 4, that's 12. That's 4, 8, 12. 3, 3, 3 is 9 hours.
Right.
4, 4, 4 is 12. If I do 3, 3, 3, 3, that's 12 hours.
Right.
So I'm basically buy 3, get the fourth one for free.
Right.
If I do a 3-hour lunches. So
that's a good way to look at
it. It's fantastic. I mean, this place is there's so much that's so great to work with or work for. So I did this on this Friday. I worked 7 to 12. I had to take my car in for there's actually 2 different recalls. I wanted a checkup because I don't get oil changes on it because it's an electric car. And but I also needed to get one of the tire sensors replaced. Now I went and got a tire sensor replaced in November, and 3 days later, the other one in the front said, "By the way, you have a problem." And over the last couple of weeks, I'm getting it everywhere. I'm getting it all except for the passenger side rear. I'm getting that tire sensor problem in 3 of the 4 tires. So I took it in, and the guy said, "We have one, but you need 2." And I'm thinking, I need 3. We're going to have to order them. So the thing that I made the appointment for didn't get done. The other stuff got done. So I'm going to have to go back at some point soon. But while I was there, they have a spot where you can kind of, it's a round table, but there's a big cooler on top of it full of water. And it's a high table. It's perfect. There's 2 other chairs in the waiting room, and that's it. So I kind of moved the cooler out of the way and got my laptop in there and kind of got myself up against the table. And I did work on the book. I went back to chapter 18, about an hour, something like that. It was a tough place to write, I will say. I did not keep a word count, but I don't think it was any more than, it was probably less than 1,000. It was not the most comfortable place to write, so it was hard to like really get into it. But I probably got close to 1,000 words in chapter 18, which I'll take all day.
I'm just looking at the outline here, and one of the things you didn't actually, I don't think, verbally mention was that one of the recalls is because your car is silent. You have to install some kind of a noise so pedestrians hear it.
So
I'm just thinking in my head that what they really need to do is install something that allows you to download some kind of song or something that it can play.
Great.
Well, you're slowing down.
As I'm slowing down, they get the guitar riff to "Owner of a Lonely Heart." That'd be fantastic. Yeah, no, the electric cars by law have to have this noise when you get below 20 miles an hour, 25 miles an hour, because they're quiet. There's no engine noise, and it has to let pedestrians know that you're around. I always just assume pedestrians would like use their eyes, but apparently you have to tell them that you're near.
Not in the phone era. They don't use
their eyes. Exactly. Oh, that's a good point, actually. So I went in like a year ago and got the recall where they made it quieter. Mm-hmm. And then this time they made it louder. And it's this for my, they don't have to be the same. They just have to be a noise. And my car makes this whiny noise. And then when I like go through a drive-through right up against a building, it's so loud that I'll get to the window and I'll just put it in park and talk to him that way, because I don't want to have to deal with what's making that noise, which I have dealt with before with these drive-throughs. But anyway, so yeah, and that's what it was. It had to go in there and be made louder, which was really annoying. In the evening, I did start playing a basketball game that I bought, and until I get better at it, it's a really, really long game. It took me like an hour to play 1 quarter. I can play my football game in like 3 hours. That's like the barometer for me. If I go above 3 hours on anything, I don't want to play it. We're looking at 4 hours to play this game. So I don't know if I'm going to get it back out again. I think I played it Saturday too. We'll talk about that in a second, but I don't think I'm going to get it back. Maybe not for a while. I won't get it back out again. So we'll see. Saturday, I was up early. I went off to Chick-fil-A. And this is where I really, really made a lot of progress with this book. While I was there, I made some additions to chapter 16. I had to make sure I got 2 of my characters invited to the dinner party that starts at chapter 19. So I had 354 words to it. Then I went back to 18 and finished it. Total of 2,570 words between the 2 scenes in 18. Then I went to the dinner party scenes. There's actually 3 different chapters that I didn't combine while I was reorganizing. Not a whole lot to change here, but just different things throughout. And then I had to make a lot of changes in the kiss scene. I'm going to keep it, but I'm changing the motivation for one of the characters on why she did it. And I'm changing my main character's response because my editor said, and I quote, "You have to make your main character stop lusting after her," which I still don't think I was doing, but apparently I was. I don't know. So those 3 chapters combined were 7,782 words. And by the time I was done, it was down to 5,433. So I lost about 2,400 words in doing that. Let's see. So by combining those 3 chapters into one, it took me to 27 chapters that I've plotted now. And I got to be honest, I love 27 as the number of chapters that I'm at, because you can make it into 3 acts. You can make it into 25, 50, 25%. You can make it into 9 segments of 3. Like, I love that you could just do anything with this 27 and it's divisible by all these numbers. So for a numbers person, I really appreciate the fact that it's at 27 right now. I did not make any changes to chapter 20. Super editor C wanted me to take this scene out and put it into the dinner party. Like what happens in the scene. She wanted me to put it in the dinner party. I didn't do that. I actually kept it as its own chapter. It's got a little cliffhanger at the end. And then in 21, I had to make a few small changes to the end. I was able to move on to 22. Again, this is all Saturday. I started at 16, went to 18. I'm already at 22. I went through the beginning of 22, but it was going to be some significant changes. And I'd been at Chick-fil-A for like 3.5 hours. So it was definitely time to go.
I thought it was time for lunch.
Oh, no. I mean, it probably was. I had breakfast. I might as well have had lunch. In the afternoon, I played and posted 2 different games. I did play the basketball game a little bit more. And then I went to my couch. I don't know what was the other. Oh, then I played a baseball game that I have. So I'm playing a lot of non-football stuff right now, but I'll get back to the football probably tomorrow. And then after that, I went to the couch with the laptop, and this is where I attempted to do the Perry Mason episode 1.1 recap. And I realized about halfway through it that I really approached it the wrong way. So I stopped and I thought about it a little bit more the next couple of days and went back in. What I was trying. So back in the day, my first real TV episode writing was the TV show Big Brother, the US version of Big Brother, a show that I absolutely loved for a long time. I haven't watched it in a couple of years. Once it became a social media type of game, and we're just going to do what we do in the game so that we please the people on social media, I kind of got bored with it. So I quit watching. Probably 4 or 5 years ago, I quit watching it. But for the first 15 to 16 seasons, I watched it religiously. I was part of a website where you write recaps, and I would write complete show recaps. It would take me like 2 hours. I'd sit and watch it minute by minute, type things that were happening. People said I was funny. They liked it. They said it was good. So I started this Perry Mason episode the same way. I started getting some fun ideas, but I'm like a half an hour into writing it. I'm like 2 minutes into the show, and I'm just like, this isn't going to work.
Yeah,
I can't do this. So I really started to think about it over the next couple of days, and I'll talk about it here. I mean, I assume I put it in here. Maybe I didn't put it in the outline, but I did go back a couple of days later. It might have been Sunday night. I don't remember. And decide what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to divide it into like 2 pieces. I'm going to have the mystery version and then the lawyer version. In fact, I think I did put that in. So I'll talk about it when I get there. I think I put it in here. So we'll talk about it when I get there. Maybe I did. We'll figure it out. Anyway. All right. So Sunday I was up early, but I knew I'd be doing lunch. So I did a few things. I went to my writing app. I'm trying to really get this username password thing worked out. It's been a struggle. I know when you went in it originally, you couldn't figure out how to get a password, and it's because I didn't have anything in there to allow you to do it. I don't like this magic link that I put there. I kind of wanted that to be a secondary option. I want a username password. I like that better. Made some progress, but didn't get exactly where I wanted by the time it was ready to go to lunch. So then I went to Hothead Burrito and went to chapter 22, continuing where I left off the previous day. I finished that one, and then I skipped chapter 23 because I thought 24 would be easier. It kind of was, but there were a lot more changes than I thought. I made it pretty far, but did not finish it before it was time to go. Again, we're at 27 chapters. So now this is me skipping 23 and getting 24. So I'm getting close. Didn't do much the rest of the day on Sunday, except I did clear up the whole username password issue. I was able to make it so you can do the username password. There's a forgot password link. When I stopped working on it, it was clunky, but it was there. It just needed some cleanup on it, which I did the next day. Monday was an interesting day. I did work from home, but I did not go to the library to have lunch as I had planned, but I still got a lot done. My parents went to see my sister on Friday, and they were gone all weekend, which means my dog, who I take over to their house every day for a few hours at least, to play with their dog and run around on their fence and get that energy out, because I don't have as big of a fence as they do, and play with the neighbor's dog because he'll come out and run back and forth on the fence with him. He couldn't do that. So Friday, he's all cooped up at home. Saturday, Sunday, I go write, but then I don't do anything else because I want to get home because he's all cooped up at home. I take him over there to their house, let him play in the fence, but he really doesn't want to, he's out there for a little while and then he's done because there's nobody else to play with.
Right.
So on Monday, I felt bad. I didn't want to go across the street to the library because I didn't want to leave him alone. I felt terrible. And they were coming home on that day. So I knew they'd be home pretty soon. So I didn't go to the library. What I did do was I opened up Scrivener at lunch on my desktop computer, the one where I always get distracted, and began working on chapter 23, the one that I had skipped the previous day. I made some changes to it, and it ended up being 2 scenes. I got the editing done on the first scene at lunch, taking it down a few hundred words to 2,952. But I was on so many Teams meetings that day that at 4:00 that day, I just needed to log out, close my work laptop, and just leave the house. I needed to go do something. So I went to Chick-fil-A and I did some writing, which is something I have not done in a long time in the evening, but I did. Added some more words to chapter 9. Then I added 300 words to the first scene of chapter 23. I added some words to the scene of chapter 18. I made a small change to 17. And then after all that, I'm ready to work on chapter 23, the second scene. This is a brand new scene that's going to count as new words. And this is my zombie-like writing. This was a fun one. This is where Sam learns something, but we're going to keep it from the audience. It's like the last scene in Perot before the denouement where he realizes what's going on, but he doesn't actually tell the audience. I wrote 1,092 words in 37 minutes, and It was great. Yeah, and when I put that into my spreadsheet, that's when my words per hour jumped way up. And then I left. I was home by about 7:45 that night. Worked from home again on Tuesday, though, so it was okay. I could stay up a little bit. Nothing writing related the entire day. So I ended up working through a lot of my lunches. We're trying to get a lot of stuff updated in one of our apps. We have a big demo. We had a big demo today, and we were trying to get it updated, make sure it's working, debug it, anything we had to do to make sure it looked nice. And also at the same time during my lunch, Molly Maid was here. So I'm in the back room. I don't know why I wrote cleaning because that's not right. I don't know. Why would I write cleaning?
In the back room while they were cleaning.
Yeah, that's what it was. I'm in the back room while they're cleaning. I would never clean. Then I did some more testing. I had a 1:30 meeting, and then I felt so good about this, Rich. I had a 1:30. I have the same 1:30 call every day. It's like a stand-up call. And I realized about 4 minutes in that I was not going to be important for the rest of the meeting. I literally just logged off. There's like 10 people in, and I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I just closed. I don't do that very often, but it just felt good to do. Let's see what I say here. So finally around 2:00, that's when I went out and got lunch because I hadn't eaten all day. I worked until 4 and logged off. And I considered last night going out like I did the previous evening, but I had to get up today around 5 and go into the office. And on nights like that, where I have to get up early, I don't like to be out because by the time I get home, I'm going to go to bed like an hour later, and I don't really like that. So I did spend a little bit of time on my writing app, though, finally getting the username password problem finished. It's done. It works. It looks good. It does everything it's supposed to do. And the next thing I'm going to do is play around with the story grid section and get it ready because I'm going to use it for book 3. I'm to the point now where I'm pretty happy with it, and I'm going to use it for book 3.
So how do I get into it then? The writing app now.
So I'm not going to say the URL here because I'm not interested in a lot of people using it quite yet.
Same URL.
Yeah, if you click, I think the URL I sent you in the original thing where I sent it to you. If you click there, I don't know what's going to happen. My guess is you should get a username password link. And you can just click forgot password and put your email in there, and it should send you a link to where you can redo your password.
Okay, great.
And I think it'll save like a cookie so that next time you go to it, you don't have to log in, every single time. Okay. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, if you do use it, I mean, I don't expect anything, but if you do, let me know what you think.
I want to take a look at it.
Yeah. So today, Wednesday, I was in the office all day. So I got in the office today and my password didn't work. It expired overnight. So I couldn't really log in to do anything. So I actually spent about 15 minutes rearranging my schedule for the 3 hours of PTO on Friday instead of the 4 hours. And by doing that, I picked up 24 extra hours, which is 3 extra days. It's a wonderful place to work. The things that they
it really is.
I've said this before. I've only ever worked at one other corporation, and for a long period of time near the end of my run there, I did not feel like the people in the offices above the IT department cared about their employees. With some of the ways they treated us. I didn't really think that there was one HR person I really, really liked, but the rest of them I didn't think they cared. I would never trust HR to tell them something that, hey, I got to complain about my boss for it. I would never do that. But here, everything is employee focused or whatever word I'm looking for. From them allowing me to do 30 days in Myrtle Beach next year to some of the other stuff. Today was Employee Appreciation Day. They brought us these ginormous cupcakes and they brought us pizza and just it's a great place to work. It's just they're just really good people in terms of thinking about the employer. So
cool.
And something happened here. I don't know what's going on with my sound.
Yeah, sounds fine on my end.
Say something.
Can you hear me?
Okay, say something again.
Looking forward to telling you about my week.
I can hear you. It's just it feels like it's too. It's gone from like one sound. I'm leaving this in, by the way. I'm not editing any of this. Okay. It feels like it's gone from I feel like 2 people are talking to me in your voice, one on each side of my head. This is really weird.
Oh, really? Oh, that's weird. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not, wait, talk one more time.
I said that's pretty weird.
Yeah, and okay, so I can't hear you through my speakers either. This is so weird. Okay, we're gonna go with it. It sounds fine. So anyway, that was my week. I am currently sitting at all I have left is 25, 26, 27. This is the climax, the denouement, all those fancy words. And a lot of it, what I have written already is going to stay. I don't think I have a whole lot of big changes to make here. I've got my main character unmasking the villain, and he does it in an empathetic, very polite way. The only thing I'm going to change is that attitude to where it's going to go from him being angry with this person instead of him trying to be empathetic or sympathetic with this person. So that's really the big change. So I feel like I'm going to be done probably by Saturday is what I'm thinking. So
you should be, hopefully. This coming Sunday or the Sunday after?
Well, I think I'm going to be done with revision Y by this coming Saturday, and that'll give me a week with 4 of those 7 days to do the whole read back. 4 of those 7 days I don't have to be back for lunch because there's half a days in there. So that'll be where I have like Word read it back to me. I'll throw it through Grammarly and I'll get it into a final copy to send off to C. So
right.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
And let me just say before you start, Rich, I was very impressed with you because I was watching throughout the week. And I think this is the second straight week now where you're actually like updating the outline with your days as you go. And I was very proud of you.
I kind of fell off on Sunday, but I came back to it today to fill it all in. Yeah, I got to be on myself to do that, or else I just completely forget. Days go by and I have no idea what I did. But I can start with last Wednesday evening after we had podcast. I actually got to bed and had a decent night's sleep. It was drug induced again. In fact, it's been drug induced every single night since then. But I'm cutting back on the dose, and I'm still been sleeping through the night. So that's good. I'm starting to come back around to my old self, I think. Last Thursday, it was a work day at the library, and for some reason, things were really humming in the morning. And again, I walk in there every morning and I have no idea what I'm going to be facing that day. It's just completely random about whether people are going to be there, not be there. If the weather's bad, like today when it was raining, you knew it was going to be a slow day. But otherwise, you just have no idea. It's really weird. Unfortunately, last Thursday, I also discovered that all our laptops have been commandeered by the free tax prep people that we have. Basically through United Way, they're doing that this year. They do it every year at the library. I just didn't realize. I guess last year maybe I wasn't teaching this kind of classes I am now, so I didn't have a laptop to teach my class on Thursday afternoon, so I had to cancel it, or more correctly, I had to postpone it until tomorrow. But that was really weird that they would allow them to just take all the laptops and just leave nothing for us to work with. But I took my lunch at noon, did a little more editing on... I guess I didn't finish Chapter 2 last week. I did a little more editing on Chapter 2 on Thursday. The problem is, it was Chapter 2, and for the most part, Chapter 1 was almost a complete rewrite. So I have like a new first draft. Wasn't quite as bad at that, obviously, because I had a structure to work with. But then I eventually did a third pass through when I was putting it in the last couple of days. And I think it's in pretty good shape right now. I'm pretty happy about the way 1 and 2 stand. I'm happy with where 3 and 4 are. So I'm looking forward to continuing on. After lunch, I sat down for a fun day of ethics and sexual harassment training. Fun afternoon. I'm starting to feel like they're harassing me having to do this training every day. I thought it was about putting in a complaint to HR, but I don't think it's going to do anything.
I feel your sexual harassment training is harassing me. I like that, actually.
Yeah. And it's over an hour. Each of those is like an hour and a half long.
Does it have the really bad actors in it? Or
yes. Well, actually, it's just got some guy in a suit just talking to us. There's no role play or anything in there.
At my last job, there was like role play of really bad actors. And I remember going to HR and being like, how can I star in one of these? Can you guys figure out how I can be in one of these? And I never did get to be in one. I would have loved to.
What I'm really upset about is that this year they took out the ability to change the speed. So you can't double speed it.
Nice.
You have to watch it in real time, which makes it really
sounds
bad.
like you're getting sexually harassed by the chipmunks.
That's right. Well, it was better when it was like that.
Yeah.
And then I already talked about what I did in terms of about Substack and trying to use Zapier and see what happens. Last Friday, I was at the library again. Obviously, it was really dreading that day because I had someone coming in who had created a website using Google Sites. I don't know if you've ever, and wanted to know why it wasn't appearing in Google search. And he'd been, made it weeks or months ago. And
that's one of the grand questions that a lot of people ask.
Well, here's the thing. I said I'd never used Google Sites. I had no idea what I was getting into. But I started looking at it with him, and it's hard to believe, but Google will not automatically index a site that you create on their own app. You have to go through a bunch of registration and verification hoops, all of which are beyond the ability of most people. It's just not somebody that would be able to create a quick website and then be able to do this. So I worked with them for about an hour. We finally got the site verified, and then they come back with a message that's saying basically, great, you're now verified. It may take anywhere from 72 hours to 2 weeks in order for this site to get indexed. So,
okay. You should just tell them the easiest way to do it, sir, is just pay them.
Yeah, really. Well, actually, I did tell them that. You don't hope to actually rank anywhere on the first dozen pages of Google until you've either done a lot more work on this website or you pay them a bunch of money, because that's basically what Google is now. It's now pay to play. Let's see. I don't know. What did I do here on Friday or Sunday? What is that? Friday afternoon. Okay, well, let's just skip. Other than that, the rest of the day was basically, I was just thinking and doing very little. Saturday is at the library working. Starting off in this space.
I mean, there's your podcast title right there. Thinking and doing very little.
That's right. The morning was spent doing, actually on Saturday, what I was actually paid to do, which I can't remember what that was. It didn't include writing, though. Whatever it was, I was supposed to be doing it. I did take lunch at noon, and I had finished chapter 2 at some point, the editing, and I started editing chapter 3. Things were kind of slow. So even when I got back to the public desk, I was able to plug along a little bit, doing some more editing. I kind of come to realize that I'm a really slow editor. I'll be going along and think I'm really speeding through it. I'm doing great. I'm making lots of, important changes and stuff. And I look up and I've taken like an hour and a half or 2 hours on one chapter. It's just slow. Where, maybe this is unrealistic and it's just people talking, out their hat, but you hear about people editing. They sit down, they've written a 30-page or a 30-chapter book, and they sit down and they edit it in 8 or 10 hours. There's just no way I would ever be able to do that.
They must have had a really good first draft.
Well, yeah, that or else they're just bad first draft and a bad edit as well. Something.
Yeah.
But I tend to ruminate over word choices, and sentence construction, and how can I make this clear?
Do you like that part of the writing process or no?
Yeah, I get lost in it. I lose track of time, and that's why it's always shocking to me when I look up and see how much time I've spent on doing half a chapter. It's just strange. But yeah, I do get lost in it. It's kind of like when I'm painting or doing something else creative. I get started on it and I kind of get lost. And, you get into, I guess what people call flow, but I just lose track of time. And, like when I'm painting, I'll look up and, 4 or 5 hours has gone by. And I just have no idea, where I was during that 4 or 5 hours. In the evening, I just kind of chilled with a puzzle, didn't do much on Saturday night. Sunday was a day off. So, of course, I had to spend the entire day outdoors moving fruit trees from a temporary nursery in the backyard to their permanent spot in the back 40 behind the greenhouse. And I got to tell you, I'm getting too old for digging all those holes. And these trees weren't small trees, they're 8 to 12 feet tall. And I'm also getting too old to dig a hole and then realize I've dug it in a wrong spot. I got to move. No. I've got to move it over 2 or 3 feet. So it's terrible. Like being in the army. Okay, dig that hole. Okay, now fill that hole in. Yeah. Which is basically what I ended up doing on Sunday.
My back hurts just thinking about it.
And my back hurt. By the time I was all done, towards the day was getting long and the light was dwindling, I came in. I got one of these back rolls. I had to do a bunch of exercises on the back roll, and I just collapsed on the couch for the rest of the day. Monday, I was back on the job. Spent most of my time out on the public desk, but again, it wasn't too busy. for who knows what reason, I did get a chance to complete the edit of chapter 3, the hand edit, and I started editing chapter 4, which for some reason was a bit easier than 1 through 3. I guess I spent a lot of time on the first 3, making sure I set up the story and developed the setting really well, so that I didn't have to do a whole lot of heavy lifting later on in terms of getting people oriented about where they were. After dinner, when I got home, we just settled in for watch a couple 3 Father Browns until it was bedtime. And then yesterday, I had to be at the library at noon. So again, I went to the back behind the greenhouse and spent the morning digging out roots and tree stumps in the new vegetable patch that I'm building back there. There was I still remember a time where I could do that for 2-3 hours at a time and not be just completely worn out. But it's not this time. It's not this time of my life. Once I did get to the library, I worked at the public desk until quitting time at 9 p.m. With the exception of a Chick-fil-A dinner, which I enjoyed very much. And then I finished while I was in the evening while I was working at the public desk. It was raining or getting dark. Was it raining? No, it wasn't raining. It was just slow for some reason. But I was able to finish chapter 4. And then I started going back yesterday and entering my hand edits, which turned out, like I mentioned, to be almost like a third edit because I change things as I do that. And then today I spent the morning working on donations, getting the junk into the dumpster and getting the other stuff sent off for our recycled reads. After lunch, I started putting together a slide deck for an introductory course I'm teaching next week on AI and how you can use it in your life. That'll be next Thursday. I'll be teaching that. I think it'll be pretty interesting. I don't know how much I tend to get older people, tend to get people who don't use the computer all that much. So, but I'm sure they've heard a bucketful about what AI is doing to the world. So it should be an interesting class, I would think.
I envision a lot of screaming at you.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think there'll be a lot of questions.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be a lot of screaming. I mean, I'm going to be upfront. They're going to tell them, a lot of this stuff, how you think about it depends on whether you think, whether you believe in fixed costs or not, basically. Are you going to turn back the clock? No, you're not going to turn back the clock. So you're going to decide how you're going to deal with it from here. Then about 4 o'clock, I was back out on the public desk where I continued to enter some of the edits for 1 and 2, and I got them finished. And now we're recording, and afterwards I'm going to have some dinner, and then I think we're going to watch a movie. I'm thinking really about going back to the original Blade Runner with Harrison Ford and watching that. I haven't seen that in ages, and I think that
never seen it.
Yeah, I think that'd be really good. I did recently watch the new Blade Runner, which was Blade Runner 2049 or something like that.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed that. People kind of panned that one. They didn't like. I think it was Ryan Gosling was in that, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they didn't like him in it or whatever. But I kind of enjoyed it. So I'm gonna go back to the original one. If nothing else, to get that monologue at the end by one of the replicants talking about the things he's seen that are just going to disappear once Harrison Ford takes him out. Starships burning off the shoulder of Orion and stuff like that.
Wow. Okay, I've never seen this movie. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Yeah, a good sci-fi movie. My goal for this coming week is to maybe up my editing a little bit. I've been doing basically 2 chapters each of the last 2 weeks. I'm going to see if I can get up to 3 chapters.
Okay, there you go.
In the coming week. That might be actually pushing it because of what my week's going to look like, which we'll talk a little bit later. My running list of future things. I want to get going on Substack. I want to post my first note and an essay. I think I mentioned this last week. I haven't really moved on that. I am going to lean heavily into true crime and unsolved crime for the Substack. Give it a little bit of a link to my fiction. I also need to choose an email service provider, although I did some of that background looking today, and I'm thinking probably the most cost-effective one is going to be MailerLite still. There doesn't seem to be anything that really allows you actually, that is not true. Right before I left work, I started looking at Kit.
Yep.
And it looks like Kit might be cost effective if you're considering how much flexibility they're going to give you in developing automations for low price entry points. And I think Kit might be actually better than MailerLite. So I'm going to take another look at that. And actually, when I also went back and I looked at Active Campaign, because way back when I had an Active Campaign account, and both MailerLite and Kit are under the price points of Active Campaign. So that would make me happy. And all of those, MailerLite, Kit, Active Campaign, you can get a free account. We're up to 500 subscribers. Yeah. The only thing is that Active Campaign, you're really limited on what you can do with automations. MailerLite and Kit, not so much. In fact, Kit looks like Kit just basically charges you based on subscriptions on the number of people on your list, and they give you basically access to everything. It doesn't really matter.
Oh, that's nice.
How many subscribers you have. So
okay.
And I also I decided that I'm going to keep the richcasey.com instead of having to fold it into Substack like we talked about last week. I'm going to keep that one free to use in the Wild West of the internet, and I'm going to come up with a different domain name to use with Substack. Maybe something very closely allied to it, like richcasey.net or something like that. That I can. I thought initially about richcasey.co, but that's going to be too close to com, and people are going to get them messed up. So, yeah. So that's where I'm at with future things to do.
But yeah, when I first started this podcast a long time ago, the running list of future things to do was stuff that I'm going to do. I just don't know when, but I don't want to forget about it. It's more for me than anything else, just so I wouldn't forget these things. But I did add something a couple days ago that really is a short-term things I don't want to forget. And this is getting ready for the release in April. And this is getting my book 2 paperback cover. I've not done that yet. The reason I haven't done that yet is because I don't know how many pages it's going to be. But once this revision Y is finished, I'll have a pretty good idea how many pages it will be. I have the link ready. I have all those different credits from 100 Covers. They did the ebook, so I'm going to send them the ebook and say, here's the ebook. Can you do the paperback for me? It's going to be this many pages. Here's the size and this, what I want on the spine and all that good stuff. So I'll do that. I want to send an email from MailerLite and put it up on Substack. Kind of you and I on the same page there. I want to make a Facebook author post. I just want to get that going again. I want to set up my Etsy with my new products, my notebook, which is my bag because I'm using one. I want to make sure book 1 is ready to go. I want to edit book 1.5. And then here's an interesting one. I want to request, because I already know what book 3 is about, I want to request the ebook cover, because I think what I'm going to do, Rich, and this is silly, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to publish book 2 and put book 3 on pre-order immediately.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to set a date for like November 10th. That's 7 months. Yeah. And I think I can do it in 7 months. I'm going to start out by exchanging emails with Super Editor C in terms of the developmental edit on the outline. Then once I have that could take a month, but once I have that finished, that'll give me about 5 months to write the whole thing or edit and write the whole thing. And then I'll have to get it to her obviously a couple weeks before that pre-order date so that I'll get it back and I can get it ready. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to do this and not be partially because I've heard a couple people on YouTube videos that I watched talk about it, but also the marketing woman who I talked to a couple weeks ago told me the same thing. And I didn't even ask. She just says, if you can get book 3 on pre-order when you release book 2, the people you're more likely to buy it because they know another book's coming. And that's right. Kind of a big, I've never done that before. And I always wonder, am I losing sales because people go to book 1 over the last couple of years and go, well, there's no book 2. So what am I going to do here? Right. So I think I'm going to try to do, if it goes well, then I'm going to do it every time. The next one on pre-order. Again, I can do the ebooks because the books are written. So
there's really no downside to doing it, especially if you give yourself a long landing strip like you're doing. The only thing is if you can't meet the deadline. But you work the deadlines in your job all the time. So
no, I don't.
Oh, you don't? Oh
no, I've said out loud many times in the last 6 months. I've worked as a computer programmer professionally since 1996. I don't think I've ever delivered anything on time.
Oh, okay.
So, it's just the facts of being and I would be willing to bet that everybody else that I know that's a computer programmer is the same way. I mean, we don't, and the reason that we do that is because most of the times our deadlines are given to us by people who don't come to us and say, how long is this going to take?
Okay.
And if they do, then we give them a time and they just go, okay, well, how about this instead? And I had my last job, I was in a room with 25 people during a planning meeting. And the guy said to me, how long is this going to take? And I said, I'll give it to you on this date. And he said, well, I'm going to write this down instead. And it was like, I think I said a month and he said 2 weeks. And I go, no, I just told you that it's not, I can't do it in 2 weeks. He said, well, I'll just write this date out anyway. Like, that's how it is. And so I've accepted that. I accepted that a long time ago. And I don't care that, it's just how it is. It's not the end of the world. Now with this, obviously, it's a pre-order that's going to be there. And my guess is throughout that 6 or 7 months, as people read book 2, people will go buy book 3. They might even buy book 3 when they buy book 2. So I'm guessing there'll be a number there of pre-order sales for when that book is ready. So this one I do have to hit. I did it one other time where I set a pre-order and then I emailed Amazon and said, I need to cancel this. And they said, okay. And then I think you get probation for like a year or something. This is a long time ago. But I think I give myself enough time by doing 7 months. I wanted to do 6. I wanted to try to just do every 6 months, but I've kind of decided that I'm gonna go a little bit longer than that and not worry about what's the word what I'm looking at, the easy math 6
Right.
6 6 6 twice every 12, that kind of thing. I'm not gonna worry about that, even though in my math head it sounds great. But I'm gonna do 7. It'll drive me crazy. I mean, Rich, when you turn your thermostat on at home, is it always on an even number? Because I can't put mine on an odd number. Do you always put yours on an even number?
I always put mine on a prime number.
Prime number. There you go. So there you go. So like I can't 7 months is weird to me. It's going to feel really strange, but I think November 10th is a good day. And I'm pretty sure November 10th is a Tuesday, second Tuesday in November. So I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do when I do it.
No. So, well, you know what you can do? I mean, you set it up for 7 months and for Amazon, but then just give yourself a 6-month deadline. And if it's done in 6 months, then you drop it early and close, and nobody's the wiser.
Yeah, the earlier I can get it out, the better. But still there's that deadline that just sits there and looms.
Right.
And it bugs me.
And there's all that golf between now and then.
Oh, there's going to be so much golf, I'm telling you. In terms of my addicted to, I went with something a little bit different. I went with food. I went with snacks. I kind of took some inspiration. I was talking to a friend of mine about Hostess cupcakes not too long ago, and I remembered how much I love Suzy Q's. Those are the sandwiches. It's like the black cake with the white cream in the middle. I love those.
I had to look that up, and I saw what it was, and I thought, I bet there's not one natural ingredient in that thing.
Were you right?
I didn't look at the labels, but
okay,
because I knew I didn't have to. So.
Yeah. Oh, there's when I used to in my first job in my previous life, I used to travel a lot, and I always used to stop and get a Suzy Q's and a Pepsi when I start my drive. And I used to be a lot skinnier, Rich, is what I'm trying to say.
Can you find just a Suzy Q?
I think at probably like the bigger gas stations that have giant selections you can.
Oh, okay.
I, of course, did what any normal person should do. I went to Meijer, a giant grocery store, on Sunday at 1:00 when everybody's doing their grocery shopping, and literally bought a box of Suzy Q's. And I walked up to the register and I was like, this is all I'm getting. So, yeah, and they're gone. Only 5 in a box, which was disappointing. But yeah, the 5 in a box. This was Sunday, Wednesday. Yeah, they're gone. Bad. Yeah, well, they were gone 2 days ago. But anyway, yeah. So that was I just opened up my Walmart so that when I get my groceries this week, when I get my groceries delivered on Saturday, I remember to get more of them because they're so good.
From the picture, they kind of look just like an elongated moon pie, really.
That's probably true, yeah. I don't think I've ever had a moon pie, but you're probably right.
Well, as far as my addicted to, I'm kind of off the ice cream bandwagon. I haven't had ice cream in a few days. And I don't know if did I talk about all the pizza the sheriff's deputy brought in last week?
No.
Oh, yeah. Well, it must have been after we recorded. It must have been on Thursday. I didn't ask him, but he brought in like 4 extra large pizzas.
Wow.
And we have sheriff's deputies do security for us in the evenings. And my only guess, he got it from the place down the road. My only guess is that he stopped in there and said what he wanted to buy a pizza for the library, and the guy threw in a bunch of pizzas because we're always doing stuff for the guy that runs the pizza place. So yeah, we had these 4 huge pizzas, and a bunch of it went, obviously, but then a lot of it was left over, and apparently nobody likes leftover pizza. So I basically
I don't.
I ended up eating a whole leftover pizza myself over the next few days. Yeah, so I've had pizza almost every single day until today because I finished it yesterday. So
right, there you go. All right, coming up for me this week. So tomorrow's Thursday. So tomorrow's actually gonna be my half a day. Coworker Brian needs some time off on Friday, so I'm taking tomorrow as a half a day. And one of us has to be working or online between business hours in case something breaks and we need to fix it. So tomorrow is my half a day. I'll leave at noon. So I'll do 7 to 12 and I'll leave at noon. And I'm really hoping that I can finish Draft Y. 3 chapters, not a lot of changes, but some changes. Really hoping that I can finish my revision Y tomorrow. This is really optimistic, but I do believe there's a chance. I'll probably go to Buffalo Wild Wings and sit until about 3 o'clock and see if I can get it. Done. Friday. So I did go into the office today as my first day of the week in the office. So I do have another one. Not going to do it tomorrow. So I'm going to end up going in on Friday. I think I've only gone in on a Friday. I've been working this job since 2021. I think I've gone in 2 times on a Friday since I started this job in 2021. So tomorrow is going to be the 3rd time. And I think I was assuming there would be no one there, but I know there's going to be some IT there. So it won't be as quiet as I had thought it would be, but there's really going to be no one there and it's going to be wonderful. I'm all for it.
It'd be like being at home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Except I put pants on, which is kind of disappointing.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe I don't. I've been praising our HR, so maybe that'll go against the sexual harassment stuff that we talked about.
Maybe just be shorts.
Yeah, well, I you know what? It's supposed to be pretty warm Friday. I may do that. So I may go shorts and hoodie in the morning when I'm walking, and then I might go shorts. We'll see. So I'll write at lunch on Friday, and then I'll keep the revision going. Saturday and Sunday, nothing special. It's the same as usual. Chick-fil-A on Saturday morning, Hothead on Saturday afternoon. I'll play some games in the afternoon, and I'm really hoping by Saturday, but I'm really hoping tomorrow that I get revision Y done. So the minute I get revision Y done, I'll go to revision C, which will include me putting headphones on and having Word read back to me these chapters as I edit them. I don't really think I have, like, all the plot points are done. Like, it's literally written. I just have to edit it and I just have to listen to it and make any final edits and run it through Grammarly after this. So I feel good about that. So I'll play some games on those days and yeah, that's about it. Monday, so I have to go into office 2 days a week. I think I'll go in on Monday as long as the weather is good. I'll write at lunch. Tuesday, the rest of the week I have to go in one more time. I think it'll be Tuesday just to get it over with, Monday and Tuesday. I do have Writers Club on Thursday, so I'd rather not go on Thursday if I didn't have to. And I'm going to take a half a day Friday, so I'd rather not go Friday. So it doesn't matter where I'm at, though. I'll write at lunch. I'll keep working this revision. And the goal has been for the last weeks to finish revision Y. Well, I'm going to finish revision Y. I'm going to do it pretty early in this next 7 days. So I think I'm going to make a goal now of getting through the first 15 chapters of the final revision Z, by the next time you and I talk next Wednesday. And then I'll have, a Friday, Saturday, and all day Sunday. Friday, half a day, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. And I have to turn it in that Sunday. Yeah. So I hope to get through about half of it, 15 chapters of the final revision by the time we talk next Wednesday.
Yeah, that'll be a lot to get accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
For me, tomorrow it's a work day, and I'm teaching a Canva class. I got around the fact that they stole all our computers for the tax people by signing out the 3D printer in our makerspace, and I'm going to steal that computer. So
nice.
Yeah. So
musical computers.
Yeah. So I'll use a lot of swapping around with laptops going on right now. And actually, the laptop that's connected to the 3D printer is like, 4 or 5 generations newer than the ones that the tax people are using right now. So yeah, I'd like that one better anyways. I'm probably unlikely to get any kind of writing stuff done tomorrow just because it's going to be so busy between teaching and trying to finish up the slide deck for the class next week. Friday through Sunday, I have a 3-day weekend off, which normally at this time of year means, spending all my time out in the garden working. But it's supposed to rain all weekend, off and on. And Tammy's actually going to be going out on Saturday to do some volunteer work at an orchid nursery in town. She's really gotten heavily into orchid growing, orchid propagation. At one point here, just like last week, we had something like 24 or 5 orchids in the house, orchid plants. So This a new aspect to her gardening hobby. So I may actually get a chance to write and hopefully to play with my trains. That's what I really want to do too this weekend. If I do, I'll probably end up posting a video on Substack of my trains.
Oh, nice.
Going around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then Monday is through Wednesday of next week. It's just back to work. There's nothing special planned. I'll try to jam in revisions and editing whenever I can. Try to get that uploaded to the computer. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty much going to be a calm week, I hope. Something weird that is happening is, with my mother's estate, my sister is handling it. Turns out that my mother put a lot of us, or put us as co-heirs on a number of her IRAs, which causes a problem when you try to get those things switched over. I am going to have to spend lots of time on the phone with lots of finance people trying to get my part of that fixed during the week. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully I'll be able to do that on my days off. And other than that, I don't really have anything else to share.
All right, neither do I. So that's going to end the podcast for this week, right at 1 hour. So that's nice. If you want to get in touch with me, you can email me, jerry@jerryevanoff.com. The website is jerryevanoff.com, and the Facebook page, facebook.com/jerryevanoffauthor. I might do something this weekend there just to I think I might do a cover reveal, and not even a reveal. People have seen the cover, but I think I might put it up there anyway, just to remind people that I exist and, hey, this is going to be out soon. So
yeah. You can contact me at rich@richcasey.com in terms of email, and I can be found on Blue Sky at Casey himself. If you look really hard, you'll find me on Substack, but I don't really have much of a presence there yet, except for I do follow a lot of people. One of which is I don't know if you know of the author Sherman Alexie. Have you ever heard of him? Or is it Alexi Sherman? No, it's Sherman Alexie, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, he wrote the book the Absolutely True Story of a Part-Time Indian.
Okay.
That was his first book. He's mainly a poet, but
okay.
If you're ever on Blue Sky, try to follow him because he is hilarious. He has some really good thoughts on the author world, and I found that he's had 3 brain surgeries in the last.
Yeah, I was just reading his bio. Holy cow!
So which way did I have? Is it Sherman Alexie or Alexi Sherman?
It's Sherman Alexie.
Okay, that sounds better.
And I like his cover. I like the covers of his books because they look like he made them himself, and they also make me think that the books are funny.
Yeah.
So
they are.
Good.
The Absolutely True Story of a Part-Time Indian is it's poignant, but it's also hilarious too.
Okay.
He's actually
all right. Well, that's it.
He's actually full-blood Shoshone Indian, I think.
Oh,
no,
okay.
Spokane Indian. Yeah. So
interesting. All right. Well, that's going to be it this week. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll be back next week.
Yeah. Take care, everybody.